Hey everyone, welcome back to Top Deck Gaming, and today we're bringing our second installment for what we believe are underrated cards in the Naruto CGG game. Today, my brother Zenosis619, aka Nick, he will be going through 5 different cards that we picked out for you guys to kind of see how we feel about them and why we think they should probably see more play. So without further ado, Zenosis will get right into it, guys, so sit back and enjoy.
Alright guys, let's go and start with one of my favorite cards, and that is Void Chakra Paper. This card is underrated to me simply because it gives you an effect based on the chakra that you drop for the hand cost. And it has an effect for all 5, so for fire you discard top 4 of your opponent's deck. For water, you move the top card of your deck to chakra area. For earth, you discard a card randomly from opponent's hand. For wind, you draw a card, and for lightning, your ninjas get +2/+0. So the reason why I feel like this card's underrated is because you drop it with, you know, a set 25 Kages or something, somebody with 3 symbol, and you're getting a lot of effects. I use this card in my mill deck, and I usually like to drop Obito Stalwart, which is fire wind, so I discard top 4 of my opponent's deck and I get to drop. So it's not good in terms of just using it singularly unless you're using a mill deck and discarding for fire, or an earth deck and discarding for earth. But if you're using something that involves a lot of split symbols, it's got a lot of good effects. I'm actually kind of surprised it's not used in more meta decks, but it's definitely underrated to me. So next up, for lightning, we got Naruto, Dangerous Chakra. This one is a lot of fun. When this ninja receives any damage to the showdown, remove the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck from the game, and this effect can't be negated. So the good thing about this card is it causes people to stall pretty harsh, because if it takes 1 damage, it gets 5, 2 damage, it takes 10, and they're just removed from game. There's no way to get those back. So usually people will wait to pull a comps or a dehydration out or something and hit it with that first, but it's a good card. Let's see here. Next up is this Kiba, Wild Fang. This one says when it's sent out to battle, neither player can use Jutsu cards. So the benefit of this card is if you're using some sort of pump deck where you use like Might Guys from your hand, or maybe even a Surge deck or something that you can definitely win with power, this is a good card to make sure you're safe. It also definitely benefits in NVS decks, anything rush aspect, and actually works pretty well against an OTK deck, just because usually those require Jutsus and they can't use them if they have the Screed on the field. So it's underrated in terms of it counters a lot of things, but at the same time it's definitely not a main board card. It's something that, you know, if you come up against one of those decks, or if you use one of the very specific decks, it's definitely a good card to consider. Next up is Kakuzu's abilities. This is kind of a BR flip aspect card, but it has a lot of good effects also. So you turn one of your opponent's battle words face up, and then you apply the following effects according to all of your opponent's face up battle words. So that means you can get both or all of the ninja, mission, and other effects. So ninjas, you discard up to 2 of your opponent's chakra. Missions, you draw 2 cards and charge 1. And then Jutsu, client, your opponent randomly discards 1 card. So being able to hit those 3 effects is just pretty insane. And in a BR aspect, you can kind of control the outcome of this card, so that's definitely very helpful. But not used in many BR forms today, because the meta is just so specific. So this is a card that, if it ever changes, will be a definite game changer. And then the last underrated card for today is Orochimaru Childhood. So this card is absolutely nutty. For one, it's gaining, so you can use it in NVS decks and stuff like that. And it says when your opponent plays a mission card, any hand cost for the card gets discarded, so it's not sent to the chakra area, and then the mission itself gets discarded. So it doesn't negate anything, but they lose the chakra that they would have gained for playing a mission. And that's the point about being like a quote-unquote good player for this game, is not to hard charge out of your hand, it's to play missions to generate chakra. So this card itself shuts down that main aspect of the game for most players, and it just keeps them mad for a good amount of the game until they can either negate the effect or get rid of it. So this card is just absolutely insane. It's a 5/3/1/2. It's beefy. It does have a hand cost, but you can use it in both water and earth aspects, and it's just really good. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't use it because it's a turn 3 with a hand cost. But just the effect on its own, it will see play in certain decks, and not even just, you know, chakra absorption decks. It's just a fantastic card that I don't necessarily want to see it played more, but anything to change the meta. So those are our 5 cards for today. So we got Orochimaru Childhood, we got Kakuzu's abilities, Kiba Wildfang, Naruto Dangerous Chakra, and the Void Chakra Paper. So let us know what you guys think, or what some underrated cards that you guys feel are. Like I said, these aren't cards that are like based in the meta. These are cards to consider if you are just making a deck for fun, or if the meta ever changes, or if wherever you're at, your particular list, you can put cards to change everything you want. So consider some of these. So that's all for today, guys. And as always, those of you keeping the Naruto CCG dream alive, we salute you.